a platform may have several different control points. Not all control points are equally strong or strategic. The strength of a control point is determined by four key factors. The first is the degree of dependence created by the control point. The higher the dependence created by the control point, the stronger is that particular control point. When evaluating the strength of a control point, ask yourself, what is the extent to which ecosystem members need it and become dependent because of it? The second factor is the uniqueness of the control point. An asset or process that is easy to copy or replicate may not serve as a strong control point, as a competing platform may also replicate it. Again, when evaluating the strength of an asset as a control point, ask the following question. Can the platform uniquely own this control point? Is it replicable? This will also determine to what extent you can control the dependence of the ecosystem, as already mentioned above. Next, look for the ability for the control point to scale with feedback. Factors that make the control point stronger over time. When evaluating for this, ask yourself, are there any sources of feedback that constantly increase your control once you get a start? Finally, not all control points are monetizable. Monetizability refers to the ability of a control point to capture value. This is determined both by the ease of replicability and the degree of dependence that is created because of that control point. Ask yourself, is the control point monetizable? Let's take an example here to illustrate how you apply these four questions. Google Maps is a very important control point that allows Google to gain a position of strength among mobile handset manufacturers as well as among auto manufacturers. Let's evaluate this control point using the four criteria we just discussed. First, let's look at the degree of dependence. This is clearly high in the case of Google Maps, as auto and handset manufacturers need maps for supporting navigation on their devices. Next, uniqueness is high for Google Maps as well. Creating mapping data that rivals Google Maps is not an easy task, as Apple and many others have learned over time. Third, the ability to scale with feedback is also high. Google leverages deep learning to improve maps by training them on its own data. No other company currently has such a huge data advantage. Finally, this control point is also monetizable, and partner firms pay a license fee to use Google Maps. This example demonstrates the strength of Google Maps as a control point. When evaluating control points, always ask these four questions. First, what is the extent to which ecosystem members need the control point? Next, can the platform uniquely own the control point? Third, are there any sources of feedback that constantly increase your control once you get a start? And fourth, is the control point monetizable? We now understand that a control point is a mechanism by which you gain a position of leadership in the ecosystem. There are several assets and components that may serve as control points. Some of these may be created by the platform and may exist at the time of launch. Others may be created by the ecosystem over time.